Something interesting is happening in the crypto market right now. Bitcoin is back above $70,000 level. Institutional investors are starting to move money into the market again. And also, there is a new push for crypto regulation that could change industry. But here's the strange part. Global tensions are still high. Macro uncertainty is still everywhere. And yet, Bitcoin is holding strong. So the big question is this beginning of next move higher, or is this just another short-term bounce before the market drops again? Let's break down everything happening in crypto today. First, let's talk about the biggest news moving the market today, and then I'm gonna show you all my levels. One major development is coming from US. There is renewed discussion around the new crypto regulation proposal known as the Clarity Act. The goal of this proposal is to finally answer a big question that has been hanging over the crypto market for years. Are cryptocurrencies securities or commodities? This uncertainty has created a lot of confusion for companies and investors. So if regulators finally create clear rules, it could be a huge step for the industry. And this political sport is one of the reasons Bitcoin has been moving higher this week. Another big development happened in the banking world. The crypto exchange Kraken has reportedly gained access to the Federal Reserve's payment system. Because normally only traditional banks can access this system. So a crypto company getting that kind of access is a pretty big deal. It shows that crypto is slowly becoming more integrated into the traditional financial system. And that kind of development often increases long-term confidence in the market. There is also something important happening on the institutional side. US spot Bitcoin ETFs have started seeing strong inflows again. Recent data shows more than $500 million flowing into these ETFs. That's a major shift because for the past several weeks, we had mostly seen money leaving the market, and most of this new money isn't coming from retail investors. It's coming from large institutions. So even during periods of uncertainty, big players are still accumulating Bitcoin. Now let's talk about Bitcoin itself. Right now, Bitcoin is trading around the $70,000 range. Earlier this week, the price briefly pushed above 73K. From a technical perspective, the market is currently sitting at a very important level. There are a few key levels traders are watching right now. The first important support level is around $63,000. Below that, we have a stronger support near 60,000K. As long as Bitcoin stays above these levels, the market could keep its bullish momentum. On the upside, the first major resistance is around $74,000, and above that, another strong resistance level sits near $76,000. If Bitcoin breaks above that zone, we could see a large number of short positions get liquidated in the derivatives market. When that happens, it can push the price higher very quickly. This is what we call short squeeze. And in crypto, those moves can happen extremely fast. Sometimes price can jump thousands of dollars in just a short period of time. So be careful. First rule is don't lose the money, and then you can earn. But of course, there is still downside risk. And for me, this scenario is more possible in a short time. If Bitcoin falls below the $63,000 support level, we could see that long positions are getting liquidated, and that could push the price to 60K range again. So right now the market is basically trading inside the tight range, and the next breakout could be a big one. Now let's look at Ethereum. Ethereum has also started recovering this week, but is still underperforming compared to Bitcoin. One reason for that is that large amount of leveraged long positions currently in Ethereum market. When markets become volatile, those positions can increase the risk of their liquidations. So some traders are being are being a little more cautious in Ethereum right now. Now let's talk about market sentiment. Interestingly, the overall mood in the market is still pretty cautious. The crypto fear and greed index is still sitting in the extreme fear zone. That means many retail investors are still nervous about entering the market. But historically, something interesting often happens in crypto. Major rallies sometimes start when sentiment is still fearful. In other words, the market can start moving up while most people are still expecting it to drop. That's why the current sentiment is something many traders are watching closely. The bullish scenario is actually pretty straightforward. If Bitcoin breaks above $76,000 resistance level, we could see momentum return to market. Short positions could get liquidated. And that could accelerate the move higher. In that situation, Bitcoin could start pushing toward the $80,000 level. And if institutional ETFs inflows continue, that could add even more fuel to the rally. But we also have to consider the bearish scenario. If Bitcoin loses the $63,000 support level, the market could weaken in the short term. That could open the door for move back toward the $60,000 region. And we shouldn't ignore the macro factors, things like interest rate expectations, central bank policy, and geopolitical developments can all create volatility in the crypto market. So the next few days could be very important. So right now, the crypto market is at a very interesting moment. Institutions are starting to move money back into Bitcoin. Regulatory developments could reshape the industry. And technically, Bitcoin is sitting at a very critical level. The next big move might be closer than many people expect. But the real question is, will Bitcoin break above $76,000 or fall below $63,000? Let me know, what do you think? Do you think Bitcoin hit $80,000 or do we see another pullback first? And if you enjoy these quick crypto updates, subscribe to the channel.